Hey guys, what's up? Thank you so much for stopping by my channel as always. For those of you who are new here, my name is Daniel from iosoundstudio.com, where we work with artists all around the world to make inspiring music, and my personal goal is to impact the world with music and to inspire and to teach others to do the very same thing. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to make good content, or even great content, especially as a music artist. Let's go ahead and get into it. Now, first off, great content consists of three primary things. First off, it provides value to the viewer. Second, it engages the audience. And third, it creates a connection between the viewer and the creator. Now, let's go ahead and break down each of those three things into a kind of a practical way to apply them. First off, in order to provide value to your viewer, you can do really one of two things. You can either provide entertainment or you can provide information. Now, in the entertainment realm, it could be something like performing comedy or telling jokes. It could be comedic skits of any sort. It could be performing music or showcasing some sort of talent. It could be even telling a story, or it could be recreating something else. There's a lot of different ways that you can entertain an audience. And in information, this is certainly not an exhaustive list, but what you could do is you could educate others about your niche. And you could also just share fun facts or kind of quirks about your niche as well. Now, when it comes to actually engaging with your audience, what you want to ultimately do is evoke some sort of emotion or some sort of action from your audience. So you could do something like make the viewer think, or make the viewer laugh, or cry, or learn, or research, or share, or something that causes them to move towards something else or to feel something. And another part of engaging your audience is actually having a call to action, a CTA. You always want to make sure that you have them share or, comment, or have them tell you about something similar that they've gone through themselves. Something that creates that genuine type of, interaction between you and that audience member. And the third thing that really goes hand in hand with number two is you want to build and foster and nourish a genuine connection between yourself and your audience. Now, that can be done through kind of discovering similar interests. It can also be done through appealing maybe to your audience's emotions. And it can also be done through just showing them that you are a genuine person with genuine emotions and feelings, and you have a story of your own, and just anything that you can give them to connect with you on a personal level. And that also helps allow your audience to actually get to know who you are yourself. Now, let's take all those things that we just talked about and let's apply them in the context of actually being a music artist. Let's talk about that for a second. Now, with providing value, remember we talked about it can be either entertaining or it can be providing information. So here are just a couple of ideas for you if you are a music artist. You could perhaps give a behind the scenes of your song. Talk about how it actually came to be, right? Every song has a story, typically. Maybe it's inspired by something that happened in your life, or it's inspired by something that happened in another person's life that they relayed to you, or whatever. It could even just be something completely made up, but every single song has some sort of story behind it. You could film a performance of your song. You could put a fun kind of spin on that performance. That's a very popular thing that artists will typically do. You could possibly cover a very popular song and do it in your own style, give it kind of your own unique flair. That is one thing that I have seen Lizzie McAlpine do a whole lot. If you listen to her music, you'd know that there's a whole lot of vocal layers and it's really lush with vocals kind of as an instrument. And one thing that she did in her rise to popularity on social media platforms is she would cover a lot of popular songs and she would bring that exact same type of vocal layering into her covers. And it was really cool and it was really interesting. You could even play your own song in the style of another popular artist. If you're more of an acoustic type of performer, you could take a song that you wrote that has an acoustic type of energy and you could perform it in the style of, say, Shawn Mendes or Tori Kelly or someone like that, right? Something that's kind of adjacent to your sound. Or it could be completely different. You could give it a type of rock energy or something that you wouldn't typically do. You could even try performing your own song, but do it in different genres. So again, if you're making like a pop song, you could try making it in a country version. You could try making it in like an alternative version. You could try doing like an indie rock kind of edition or cover of it and just see how the audience reacts, right? You want to kind of engage them and keep things interesting and also challenge yourself as an artist. That'll keep things fun and exciting and interesting for you as well. If you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, it can easily get kind of boring. And and doing this will allow you to grow in your skill set and maybe even explore a different sound of yours and develop your own sound more in a way that you would not have originally thought of. Another thing you could do is make a mashup of your song with another popular song. That's another thing that a lot of people do, and again, that could be really cool and really fun, both for you as the creative and for your audience member as well. Okay, now let's talk about the second thing, engaging your audience. Here are a couple of ideas for you as an artist and how you can effectively engage your audience. One thing that's been extremely popular is making kind of a skit around your song. It might be like a producer artist type of skit. You know, the artist is walking into the studio and they're kind of, you know, whatever. They put on a costume and they're like, you know, I'm so sad, and they kind of give like a brief kind of backstory into the song, and then they make a whole little video out of it. It's really entertaining. A lot of very popular artists that I've seen do this are Connor Price, Jake, or John Michael Howell, and there's a whole lot of other artists who have done it as well. Instead of making a super long form type of music video, you could do a short form kind of adaptation of a music video instead. It could be kind of a skit that just gives you a brief glimpse into the video that you made. So instead of, you know, a 5-minute long music video, do it like a 30, 45 second, 1 minute type of music video that is appropriate and catered towards social media platforms instead. Another thing that you definitely should be doing if you're not already is asking your audience members to follow you and to share your content and to comment on your content and just to actually interact with your content if they like it. Very likely, if they really enjoy your content, they really enjoy your songs, and they just enjoy your journey and your personality as an artist, they'll want to do whatever they can to help you out, especially if you're still an underground artist. They will very likely get behind what you're trying to do if you just ask them, but sometimes it takes you asking them. Not like in an annoying, pestering type of way, because I know that is some of your fear, that's sometimes my fear. In a way that's kind of like, hey, I noticed that, you know, X amount of you who interact with my content regularly don't really follow me. I'd really appreciate it if you gave me a follow. You know, something like that. Something that's just a nice, polite nudge, and explain to them that that really helps you as an artist. Another thing that you could do that has been extremely popular, especially in TikTok, is an open verse challenge. You could take your song and ask your producer to, you know, take out the second verse and just see what other people will do for your song. That has exploded so many songs in the TikTok and Instagram Reels type of world. Like, there's so much talent out there, and it opens up the door for collaboration with other incredibly talented artists that you may have otherwise not gotten the chance to work with. Another thing that you could kind of do is just ask your audience questions, right? Actually interact with them. See if they have any type of similar experience, or, you know, if this song brings back any type of memory in their lives or anything like that. Your audience members are more than just numbers, they're also people. So you can definitely feel free to actually interact with them as people. And lastly, let's talk about creating a connection. And that also goes so hand in hand with engaging the audience. So like I said, you could tell a story about your song. You could kind of sit down and say, you know, I've noticed you guys have been enjoying the song, and it actually came from a place that you might not expect, and kind of go into the story behind your song. And if they really genuinely enjoy the song, man, that could give them a whole different perspective on that song. You could talk about your musical influences behind that song, right? Maybe all last year you were listening to Lainey, and that's why, you know, this song kind of takes on some of that energy. A lot of the time, one thing that I like to do is actually make a playlist of influence songs that inspire the sound of a single that I put out. So one thing that you could do is be like, hey, if you really liked the song, here's actually a bunch of songs that inspired this song that you might also like. That kind of also goes back to providing value, right? It gives them something else to continue enjoying. With that, another thing that you could do is kind of tell your audience about your own musical journey, like what originally inspired you to even pick up songwriting or pick up being an artist, and kind of where you would like to see. That kind of helps them follow your journey. They get to see where you are now, they get to hear about where you used to be, and they can kind of follow you along on that path to where you want to be in the future. Another thing that you could actually try is sharing some of your really embarrassing first songs, the ones that don't sound good and the ones that you definitely don't want anyone to ever hear. It kind of just humanizes you, and it shows, yeah, hey, I'm an actual person and I used to not be good at what I do. Now, I personally have some of those songs and I don't know if I'll ever share them, but, you know, maybe I should take my own advice and try it, because it really does build a connection with people. It shows them, oh my gosh, you're so talented and like you've come a long way, but wow, it actually hasn't always been that way. It really might be cringy for you, but man, I'm telling you, it might inspire the next generation of songwriters and artists. You never know. You could also always do a stripped down, more emotional, more raw version of your song or a cover song as well. People will always gravitate towards real, genuine, authentic emotion. So as an artist, like, if you write a super emotional song and like it takes you to an emotionally difficult place or in an emotionally encouraging place, never hesitate to turn on your camera and to film something in those times. You should leverage the strong emotions that you are feeling as an artist and use them to connect with other people. Get something maybe beneficial out of those emotions if you can actually bring yourself to do it. You could talk about your why behind your music. Typically, a lot of artists will have a deeper meaning behind why they like producing music or why they like putting out music and writing songs and telling stories. Maybe you want to inspire people. Maybe, like I said a second ago, you want to inspire the next generation of songwriters and artists. Maybe you want to change the way that the music industry is going. Whatever it is, sharing that why behind why you make music could really be inspiring and could also, again, build that real connection with your audience. And last but not least, you just want to do whatever you can possibly do to show your audience that you really are a genuine person, a genuine human being. And with the ability to have such organic interaction through social media these days, you should really take as much advantage as you possibly can. You have the opportunity to build a more authentic connection with your audience members than so many celebrities do, because chances are, if you're watching this channel, you're still likely fairly small and still kind of coming up, and it's just so easy to be real and vulnerable and honest with a growing audience as well. So man, take advantage of this time that you have right now with your audience while you have it. All right, friends, well, that is everything that I have for you this week. Thank you so much again for stopping by and checking out this video as always. If you want to support me more directly, for artists, if you want to put out music, you can check out the DistroKid link in my bio, and that really goes a long way to support me. I get a little bit from it, and it gives you a discount on your first year of putting out music as an artist. DistroKid is awesome. I've been using it for like 5-6 years, and I cannot encourage it enough. If you want more content as well, you can always check out my Patreon as well. I try to post there as often as I can, not as regularly as here on YouTube, but you get a different side of things that I don't normally showcase here on YouTube. So that goes a long way to support me. It's only $4 a month, and it goes a long way. So I will see you next month again with another video. You can check me out on all the socials, and I'm excited to share my journey with you guys as well. Thanks so much for stopping by. I'll see you next week. One more video recorded. Love it. Victory dance. I don't know what I'm doing. See you.